Hey everyone, good to see you. So today I thought I'd share with you some new houseplants that I got, some little pots and how to take care of them and just a little bit of information on them. Okay, I'll turn the camera around, let me show you. You can see I got a little Christmas still behind. I have a hard time letting it go. So let me show you what I've got here. I've got three little planters, they're about 4-inch planters. They're the blue and white oriental planters. Let me see if I can focus in there. There we go, there's one. This is the second one. Oop, clean. And it's two-sided, so if you get sick of one side, you can just flip it over. And then I've got the third one, which is rounded. And this will be the start of a blue and white pot collection, I think. So then I've got these 4-inch pots. This is an arrowhead plant. This is called an autograph plant. And this is a China doll. I've never had any of these before. Some interesting things about this autograph plant, that it's a hemiepiphyte. It's kind of like an orchid. It likes to grow into little crevices and crannies in a tree. But the problem with this one, in tropical climates, what it does is actually it starts to grow downward. And it doesn't look like it would grow downward, but it grows downward and it roots itself in the soil. Then it starts to grow up the tree and it strangles the tree. So it's actually an invasive plant in tropical climates, but I like the look of it. And when I found out later that it actually could potentially grow like a foot a year. I'm not sure in my environment it would grow that fast. Because what I've read about it, you can repot it every couple of years. So being that this is so small, you know, I might need to transplant it fairly soon, but it will give me another excuse to buy a blue and white container. So that's this one. It's kind of pretty, and it's called an autograph plant because you can carve your initials, like you can carve into the leaf. It's so strong. I'm not going to do that. I don't think I would like the look of that. Carving my initials. The only genus that absorbs carbon dioxide at night. So that's kind of cool that it can still do that. That's probably why it's so hardy. You want to grow this plant in indirect light conditions. So when the plant becomes leggy, you can pinch it back and like size control it a bit. And you want to be fertilizing it about 3 times a year with a 10-10-10 fertilizer, something even across the board. An arrowhead plant, and hopefully you can see that close up. It's called a nephthyites. What is it called? Nephthyites. So also called a nephthyites. Anyways, that's quite a mouthful. So you can see that it's got a great coloring on it, and that's why I chose it, because it's a great contrast to the autograph plant. The interesting thing about this arrowhead plant is it actually can be grown in a hanging planter. So that's something for me to consider like later, because I do need a hanging plant in the corner of my kitchen. It's calling out for one. So maybe when this gets a little bit bigger, I can transplant it into a hanging planter. You want to water it with like a 30-10-20 ratio of fertilizer, and just cut that back during the winter months. Oh, sometimes you can get some pink coloring in the veining, which is kind of pretty. Again, I've not had this plant before, but it kind of looks like a caladium, which I like, and creates like a neat contrast. This plant is native to Western Africa, and it needs a fairly shaded location, like indirect light would be helpful, which is kind of nice for my place. All my windows are facing east, so hopefully that will be a good place for it. And what else can I tell you? Oh, it grows from rhizomes, which is interesting, just like an iris. One thing to note about this arrowhead plant is it's toxic. to animals and to humans, as well as the autograph plant, both toxic. But my next plant, the China doll, oops, I'm losing some soil and stuff. The China doll is non-toxic, so that's kind of cool. This is quite a vigorous grower, as this one is. So not the greatest for these little pots, but you know, they'll be sweet for a little while in it. I've seen a person grow it as like a bonsai type plant with like a heavy bottom stem and just kind of scraggly top. And that's kind of an interesting look. They don't like to be transplanted. So if can be quite careful when you transplant. They might lose all their leaves when you transplant them. So we'll see. I am transplanting them into, you know, one of these pots. So we'll see how it does, but hopefully I won't kill it. The reason why it doesn't like to be transplanted is it actually likes to be root bound. And so that's an interesting thing about this plant. It's native to southern China, and it can grow up to 30 meters tall and 1 meter wide. In the house, it will probably only be like 4 to 6 feet. So not that big. One thing about China doll is that it likes to have moist soil, but not saturated, like not so like soggy. So keep that in mind when you're watering. And then in regards to fertilizer, you're going to want to water it from spring to fall with a half strength fertilizer every 2 weeks. Balanced fertilizer. So here we go. We're going to plant. I've just got a regular potting mix for all of them. This is what I had on hand. So hopefully they'll do all right. And then maybe I'll show you where I'm going to put them. I don't know yet. I really have maybe too many plants. Can you have too many plants? Okay, let's see if we can squish this in here. See, I might not need any soil. We'll see how this does because I'm really squishing it in there. Oh yeah. I think that's all I need. Yeah, there we go. That one's done. That was easy. Okay, what's next? Let's see. Which one will fit in here? Here's the question. Oh, look at this. It's got some roots hanging out. We'll see how that plant who doesn't like its roots disturbed does. Okay, maybe I'll try to fit this one in here. You can see the roots growing out the bottom, but that's no problem because it's not root bound actually. You can see there's lots of, can you see that? There's lots of soil around it. In fact, I'll maybe just take some of that off so I can shove it in here. It's all about aesthetics. Not completely, but I mean, they look so sweet, hey, in these pots. Oh, I lost a leaf. Not the first one I lost, let's just say. Oh, that's cute. Can you see that? Let me get close. Isn't that cute? A little pot. And then let me show you this other one. Do. There's that. Then let me try my arrowhead. Let's try not to make a mess. So I got this little. See, that's not too bad. I'll take off some of the top. Let's see how it does in this little pot. Yeah, see, I didn't need any of the soil. Woo. Good for a little while, and then it looks like I might have to get some bigger pots. Or some bonsais. Won't little bonsais look really cute in here? Or if I had little African violets. Ah, that'd be so sweet. But, so there you go, let me show you. So I ran around the house trying to find a place for them, but yeah, I think I have quite a few plants. So the best place I think for my plants will be on this table. And let me just show you again. zoom. Let's see. I think they look kind of good. And when I get a collection, like maybe a big one and a medium-sized one, then I can kind of intersperse. Let's look at that again. Hopefully the lighting's okay in here. There you go. So that's it for today. Until the next time. It's part of a genus. I want to say genius. It is part of a genus species. It is part of a genus species. It's not even, leave species out. It is part of a genus that the only genius the only